Shalom. First off, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, your name Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, in the name of the Rakakwadash, which is the Holy Spirit that comforts and guides us, especially during these perilous times to come. I also want to give a double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, teach and rule well with truth and sincerity, and peace and salutations to the elect. You got to have faith to see the things that we see. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to receive it. And ultimately, you're not going to feel it in the spirit. And that's because that's the will of the Lord. That's why a lot of people look at us like what we're teaching is foolish. But we know that it's not foolish because, like I said, we can see physically the things that's going on in the world. That's according to the scriptures. And we can feel it through the spirit. And ultimately, for the most part, things that you feel through the spirit, it causes you to agree to it. That's why some people, when they going off, like the scriptures say, they heap up teachers to themselves having itching ears. They looking for an answer to basically approve them going off. Because ultimately, that's in their spirit to want to believe the false doctrine that they believe in. But like I said, you got to have faith to believe this truth according to the scriptures that we believe in. Starting from our elders and apostles, a great millstone, on down to the men that teach the same doctrine. The carnal man that's ultimately in this world, or carnal woman that's in this world, they're not going to be able to see it because ultimately they got to see what they got to see it, things physically to believe it. And even if, like I said, even if they do see it physically going on when we bring it out in the scriptures, they still don't have the faith and the spirit to believe it because the Lord didn't want them to receive it. It wasn't given unto them. Ephesians 1 and verse 4 reads, according as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahweh Shah HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. So the ones that's going to receive it was written from the foundation of the earth. The ones that's going to have the faith is written from the foundation of the earth. So you look around, and majority of the people that's walking basically blind, ultimately, it wasn't written for them to receive it. And that's nothing that we can do about it. Only thing we can do is continue to preach this word to the believers that's going to receive it. Hebrews 11:1, it reads, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It says the evidence of things not seen. Because we understand that this is a carnal world. And a lot of people lean unto things that's carnal. They believe that America is going to continue on because of its military. Or they believe that any other kingdom that has a nice sized military is going to be able to win any type of war. But this is, like I said, this is a spiritual war. They don't see that this kingdom is being brought down through the spirit and power of the Lord, speaking through his men, his servants, the prophets. Because they don't see us physically taking up weapons and saying that we're going to basically make a big army. And like how some of these camps, they try to increase their numbers. When it's clearly in the scriptures, there's plenty of times that the Lord has delivered our people, the Israelites, out of situations with a small number. Like the story in Gideon. I believe it's in Judges, the 7th chapter. And also, like 2 Kings, the 6th chapter and the 16th verse, when I believe it was Elisha that told the Lord, asked the angel to open up the man's eyes to see that it be more with us than it is with them, because he didn't see the angels that was, surrounded around them. But the angel opened his eyes so he could see. And ultimately, you're not going to be able to please the Lord if you don't have faith. So it's going to ultimately lead to you being destroyed anyway. Hebrews 11:6 reads, but without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And if you don't have the faith, you're not going to diligently seek the Lord, because you're going to feel like, what's the point? You're ultimately going to seek out what you believe is the truth, or what you want to be the truth. Second Corinthians 4 and verse 3 reads, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, and whom the God of this world hath blinded them, the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, Yahushua, who is the image of the Most High, Yahweh, should shine unto them. Like I said, if our gospel be hid, this truth that we speak, the God of this world, and we know the God of this world is Satan, and the ones that's doing the being of Satan in the flesh is the devil that the Bible speaks of, which devil means deceiver, the so-called white man, who forefathers Esau, Edom. He did all types of things and spent all types of money to try to keep us from returning back to the Lord. But that's how we know this is a spiritual thing, because now we're waking up, the Lord's people, starting from the elect. The Lord's people, the Israelites today, consisting of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners. They look like heathen, but they're not heathen, because their father's seed line traces back to one of the 12 progenitors of the 12 tribes of Israel. I have it written in my bio. Second Thessalonians chapter 2. Well, I'm going to read 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. And I'm going to start at the top. It reads, finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord may have free course and be glorified even as it is with you, and that we may be delivered from unreasonable and wicked men, for all men have not faith. So the Lord, speaking through, the Apostle Paul, is ultimately saying that everyone is not going to have this faith. So that includes some of your loved ones that you want to receive it. Some of your friends, co-workers, etc. All men have not faith. So the ones that have the faith is the ones ultimately that we're dealing with. I'm going to go from there to Romans chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 3. It reads, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid, yet let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sins, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So just because majority of the people in this world lack faith, that doesn't mean that it's going to stop the will of the Heavenly Father. Like it says, the Lord says his words will not go out void. They're gonna accomplish the things what he sent for. You got people, they sit there and say, they've been talking about the last days since this day or that day. And like I said, that shows that they have a lack of faith and a lack of understanding, because we understand that the scriptures say, woe to you that trust in man. You got to have faith to know that these things are going to come to pass without knowing the exact date. Because ultimately, if you lack faith, you have your father the devil. Esau Edom, because we remember the story that he couldn't wait, so he ended up selling his birthright. Most people lack faith, so they lean into their own understanding, and ultimately get them destroyed. It's various scriptures talking about people that didn't wait on the Lord, and it was their downfall. The Lord got extremely angry about that. Because if you know that you're going to pull through and a person don't trust it, it's going to piss you off. Because you're telling them to wait a specific time, and they jump and think that they can go ahead and do it on their own. That lack of faith is, like I said, going to piss you off. We seen that with King Saul. And the Lord spoke to the prophet Samuel and said, isn't obedience better than sacrifice? Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So like I said, this thing is based off faith. We got to believe, continuously to pray that the Lord keep the faith on us. Second Peter 3, I'm going to start at verse 3. It reads, knowing this first, that there should come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts. Like I said, for the most part, people lack faith because they ultimately is looking for something to prove why they should be able to go off. So they ultimately going after their own lust. Like I said, they go off for what a man says. They said 2012 will be the last day. This day will be the last day. So now they feel like, oh, well, now I don't got to have faith anymore. Because they're, what it says, walking after their own lust. And saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. So yeah, now they feel like they can just do whatever they want. Continue in wickedness. They don't have no fear of the Lord returning and basically judging them because they lack the faith. The ones that had the faith, we have the fear. So since we don't know when the Lord is going to come, we got to continue to do this work, because we understand the scriptures say, I'm going to jump down to verse 10. It reads, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. So if the Lord is coming like a thief in the night and you're not paying attention, you're going to get caught off guard. And the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person ought ye to be in holy conversation and godliness, looking forward for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So we understand that the America, which the great deliverance is going to come out of, spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, Babylon the Great, the version of Babylon, is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. We had the faith and believe that. So it says, what manner of person ought you to be? You're supposed to be a person that has faith and wait and continue to watch and do the work. Do what's pleasing in the sight of the Lord. But like I said, the point is that majority of the people don't have faith, and you got to have faith to see the things that we see. You got to have faith to see that the mark of the beast is an RFID microchip. You got to have faith to believe that like the scriptures say, the Lord said, if you take it, you're going to be destroyed. You got to have faith to believe that. Because if you lack the faith, you're going to believe, you're going to lean into your own understanding and say, I don't believe that the Lord isn't going to do this. But like it says in Jeremiah 17:9, I believe, it says the heart is deceitful above all things. And we know the heart is lab in the Hebrew and desperately wicked. Who can know it? So your mind is going to tell you to do something because we're in the flesh. It's going to tell you to do something. And like I said, the people that lack the faith is going to walk after their lust like the scriptures say. And they're going to be blinded from the truth. Because they're gonna listen for, they're gonna look for the quick anything. They're gonna a commercial or something to say it's okay to take the chip. You want to feed your family, or they're gonna listen to one of these false teachers, these false prophets, like the scriptures say that's amongst us. And as soon as they get that one little go, they're gonna jump to it because they're trusting in man. But Lord willing, that was edifying. Shalom.